everybody, I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and I've got the awesome Aries April horoscope. Well, there's a bit of a planetary party going on in your sign, awesome Aries, so a lot happening for you, including a solar eclipse in your sign. So we'll get to that in a moment, but firstly I'm going to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you, and then we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth. And if you find this useful, please leave a like and a comment. That would be fabulous, or share on your socials. Subscribe and be alive. Let's get to the board right now. Here it is. It's all happening. The cards first. 2 cards for the first and second half of the month. Closing my eyes now. A lot of crystals here I can see, different to these ones in the wand, but what I'm seeing are sorts of diamonds, rubies, sapphires and emeralds. So a lot of precious spiritual gifts coming to you this month, which is a bit surprising in the fact that everything's moving into your sign. You can see here, maybe you've been through a bit of a rough trot, spiritually speaking, because you've had so much happening here in Pisces in your 12th house. Maybe it's been a lot to handle. However, we have a big change going on with these planets moving into your sign, and you could be feeling more energetic, new beginnings around you, especially with the solar eclipse in your sign. But we'll get to that in a moment. So just letting you know that it's about time pretty soon that you'll be bursting out into the world with a new message. Alright, the first half of the month, the card that comes up is, yes, the 10 of Wands. This is the end of the cycle. It's been a little bit burdensome. You've had a lot of weight on your shoulders, a lot of responsibility that you've been carrying. The good news, how I see it anyway, is there's a mountain at the back. This is a challenge, and you've completed the challenge. There might be a few little odds and ends to tidy up, but the bulk of it, you've broken its back, so to speak. I don't know if that's a good saying or not, but you've overcome a lot. And I see it's almost like you've got to the peak of the challenge and now you've come down the other side. You're still carrying some bits and pieces here, and pretty soon it's going to be time to let go of that. I feel like you've already commenced the process because you're almost at the end of this season, so to speak, this heavy season, the weight of it. A lot of green here, green skirt, green in the background, green tree, growth and opportunity coming to you. The 10 is a 1 and a 0, so 0 is like being in limbo, being patient and waiting for something new to be reborn, and the 1 is new beginnings. So at the moment you're sort of in between the old and the new, so it's a transition. So that's the first half of the month. Alright, the second half of the month, what do I see for you, dear awesome Aries? Clip clop, I'm hearing. So that's a bit like this unicorn, but it's a horse actually. Clip clop. It's like, again, being on a long journey, and maybe you're feeling tired. You're still on the journey, you haven't given up completely, but it is taking its toll. Horses are about power, horsepower, the solar plexus, the authority to run your own life the way that you see fit. So more power coming to you. The horse needs watering, feeding and resting, basically, and you're the horse. So the card that comes up, I'm going to go back here, this one, is the 8 of Cups, moving away from a difficult situation with the new moon here, which the new moon in your sign is a solar eclipse this time around. I will talk more about that in a moment, but how appropriate that this card comes up. So it's just the hint, just the glint of new beginnings coming through. Green in this card, again indicating growth and opportunity. She's got a green dress here, she's got a green skirt here. So lots of growth coming for you. Starting, even if you don't feel it, you surely, if you have some sort of intuition or psychic ability, that things are about to improve for you and that your life is going to take on a more upbeat type of vibration. So that's fabulous. I'll just put that one there as well. So this is what your month is looking like, moving away from the burden and the worries and the challenges. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger, because now we're going to talk about your horoscope. And do bear these 2 cards in mind. I will just put them there like that, so I can't really see them. I'll move this, might help, eh? All right, so what's happening astrologically? Well, there's no aspect pattern that particularly stands out at the start of the month. So that's the first thing to note. You start the month, April Fool's Day, with Mercury going retrograde, however, and it is in your sign. So just be conscious of the messages that you're putting out into the world, that they're coming out exactly how you want them. Maybe write them down or present them in a more sort of structured format, or if you're writing to somebody, get another set of eyes to look over those emails if it's a particularly important thing. That'll be retrograde until the 25th. Now, before the 1st of April, so for about a week before, from about the 23rd, 24th of March to the 1st, it's in pre-shadow or shadow period, but before Mercury retrograde, and after the 25th for about another week or so, it's also in shadow period when the energy is going off. So it's sort of like we roll into these retrogrades. It's not like hard and fast that it's just turned on one day. We roll into them. So really anything important, you need to be very careful in the shadow period as well as the actual retrograde period. As I mentioned, it's often about communications, and when Mercury is retrograde, and in your sign here, it is the way that you're presenting yourself. Also, your ruler Mars is also moving from Pisces into your sign. This is going to give you an absolute ton of energy. Things mightn't have been going well. I could do a video on all the things that have happened to me with Mars in Pisces, and I keep meaning to but never get around to it. But please be careful with accidents, breaking glasses, picking up the bits of glass and stabbing yourself, as I have done. I've lost count how many times, at least 4 times. Hitting yourself in the head, don't walk under ladders and things like that. So it's going into your sign, and it's going to flow much more smoothly. So it's like a big surge forth of energy when that happens, which will be on the last day of the month, 30th of April, basically. So Mercury retrograde also is not a great time for travelling, because your travel legs can get mucked up and there's delays and restrictions and changes that you didn't want to deal with probably. So the next thing I want to talk about is Venus, also into your sign on the 5th of April. Fabulous for romance, fabulous for beautifying your appearance. With all of this big planetary party in your sign, you may want to change things around in terms of your appearance. You may buy new clothes, new hair, new makeup, and it's because the old way doesn't suit you anymore, and now you're starting a new cycle, and you don't want to appear tired and worn out. You want to appear vibrant and new, and so you will. Then the solar eclipse again here, bringing new beginnings, particularly physical beginnings. So it's not just about thinking about it anymore, it's about actually doing stuff and getting things accomplished in the physical world. But the energy will come to you to do it. Even if you have been tired, you'll feel like changing things up. Sun moves into Taurus on the 19th. Oh, and just on the solar eclipse, it's more a masculine energy, and it's sort of like an achieving type energy. And as I said, new beginnings. So Sun moves into Taurus on the 19th here in your money sector. It's also your possessions and your belief systems. And with the Sun here, you're going to gain a lot of insight and awareness into your finances and how you can improve your financial standing if that's what you would like to do. But you might also change your mind, or your belief systems might change, and money might not seem as important because you realise that there are other more important things than money. Jupiter is conjunct Uranus again this month. It has been for a fair while now. I meant to look that up, how long it's been, but it's been a fair few months. And this could bring positive but unexpected things happening in your financial situation, your possessions, or again your value system regarding finances, personal finances in particular. The full moon is in Scorpio This brings intense things coming up, particularly again to do with shared resources, investments, wills, inheritances, things that might have been hidden or down deep in your subconscious. They suddenly come to the surface. And with a full moon, sometimes that can be a little bit, but that's the feelings associated. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything physical that you have to do about it, but there's bound to be intense feelings about these things. Sometimes it's to do with intimacy, your close relationship with another person, and the level of intimacy or not that you're getting. So it could be that you want more intimacy, but that you can't easily obtain that with the person that is the object of your desire, so to speak. But these feelings, you can work with them and express them in some appropriate way. Venus then moves into Taurus as well. Venus here really does influence people to beautify things, themselves and their homes, and it could be that you're really tempted to spend money or overspend money on beautiful things. So do watch that. She does look after money. Sometimes she can accurately advise you. Venus will encourage you to buy beautiful things. If it's things that appreciate in value, well, then they can be very good investments. If you buy beautiful things, where they're rare and collectible, that's what I'm trying to say, and the price goes up. And Mars going into your sign, bringing a huge amount of energy, as I mentioned before, so you can burst out into life. It's all looking very positive for you. You've got Chiron there in your side, bringing any emotional scars to the surface, things that you can think about, but they come to the surface for ultimate healing. So that's a really beneficial thing. The Sun, the North Node, Chiron and Mercury here starting the month, it's like it's destiny, the North Node. It's like showing you where your future is for the next little while anyway. So that's it. Awesome, Aries. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been useful for you. Don't forget, subscribe and be alive. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.